Hello everyone, welcome to Malleus Gaming. I'm your host Malleus, and today we're going to be taking a look at using real-life military tactics in Total War Warhammer 3. In this case, the logistical and practical aspects of staging your forces using terrain for a favorable assault or ambush. This is part of a series of videos I have on using terrain to your advantage in battles, and if you enjoy what you see, then please leave me a like, subscribe, comment, and all that other good YouTube stuff to help out the channel. Now, let's get to it. The concept of staging in military terms basically comes down to the idea of getting your troops into the right position for deployments or maneuvers. This can include, but is not limited to, defensive deployments or offensive assaults. The location in which troops are assembled is known as a staging area. An ideal staging area would be somewhere where the enemy is blind to and is defensible. In modern military engagements, staging areas have often been set up within the borders of the country that the troops hail from, though more recent wars have seen military forces being staged within nearby allied countries when the fighting is done far from their own domestic borders. In terms of staging for a battle, a proper staging ground from which an army can strike from will usually have them attacking from an advantageous position, or when the attack is deemed to be at the most opportune moment. An effectively chosen staging area can lead to an army easily ambushing enemy forces, striking from a place of strength in order to neutralize their opponent's strengths and turn the tide of a difficult fight. This battle is from a very hard difficulty campaign I've been playing as Kislev's Ice Court, and features Kostaltyn, who I had confederated. I was trying to retake Erengrad, but there was a rather beefy army of ogres in my way that I had to get rid of. My army consisted of Kostaltyn on a bear, a frost maiden, the Watchmen in the Night Regiment of Renown, 3 units of armored Kossars with shields, 2 units of armored Kossars with great weapons, 8 units of Kossars with spears, Oydinov's Brawlers, a Regiment of Renown, a unit of Streltsy, a unit of Winged Lancers, and a unit of Kosovite Dervishes. The Ogres were led by the Ogre Mercenary Lord that us YouTubers are afraid to name, 2 units of Noblar Pigback Riders, 2 units of regular Noblars, the Ogre Mercenary Lord's personal Man-Eaters unit, 6 units of Ogre Bulls, a unit of Ogre Bulls with dual weapons, a unit of Man-Eaters with Iron Fists, 4 units of Ogre Bulls with Iron Fists, a unit of Lead Belchers, and a Scrap Launcher. Do you know the way? Alright, here we go. As you can see, I'm immediately deploying my army off into the forest. Well, I should say redeploying them. I had initially tried this with my typical, not really a checkerboard. I wasn't dumb enough to use a checkerboard against these ogres this time, because they have, I don't know where they are, but they've got this scrap launcher, and they've got the cannon guys, lead belchers, that's their name. So this time, I say, before I had initially tried just sort of marching forward in a, I didn't exactly go for a checkerboard before. I had my units more spread out, but I was being bombarded by the ogres, like extreme range firepower that they had with the scrap launcher and the lead belchers. Those 2 units alone kind of outclassed my army, since my army is mainly Kossars. I do have 2 units of Streltsy, one being Oydinov's Brawlers. You can see them running through the woods here. But they are a lot more short-ranged, so they took a lot of casualties on the way in, and then the rest of my units weren't able to withstand the ogre charge. So, this is my second attempt at the battle, and I am trying something different. I am moving through the woods. I'm relocating. The ogres are large targets, and they do not do well in the forests. They suffer combat penalties, so I'm going to try and do my best to take advantage of that by redeploying my army off to their flank. I'm going to try, there's a lot of forest here, And this is going to probably take a while. So don't worry, I will be cutting. But I'm going to be redeploying along their flank. Going to try and get close and do a surprise alpha strike. Take out as much as I can, as quickly as I can, and use the woods for cover from their ranged firepower. If they try to engage me in close combat, I'm going to have an advantage because my guys don't really suffer penalties in the forest. Shooting will be a bit more difficult, but I'd rather be shooting out of the woods than shooting into them. So, as you can see, the ogres are kind of redeploying because they are trying to counter my reinforcements that are coming in. The AI does seem to cheat and know roughly where your guys are, even if they're hidden. Oh, I've also kept my cavalry over here in my deployment zone. The plan with them is once the ogres reposition to engage my forces, who are circling around, I can then send my cavalry in to strike them in their rear. Oh, here we go. Looks like I got my army into a position. I'm trying to sort of get a little sneaky firepower. Some sneaky shots in, but the ogres are moving away. So this isn't quite going to work here. I'm going to... There we go. I'm going to start relocating again. My guys are going to be very tired marching through all these woods, but there we go. The ogres are shooting. Scrap launcher. That was a miss. I think it hit one Kossar. Looks like my reinforcements are coming in, so the ogres are going to split, I think. I don't think they can see my army once more. I gave them a little hint of where I was to spook them. But here they are redeploying. I'm now sort of coming up behind them. Looks like a good position. They've got my AI allies coming in. They are pretty much meat shields to draw the ogre's attention, and I'm okay with that. Oh, there's some scrap launches going in. That's a miss. Ooh, I'm sending in my cavalry. Again, sort of tempting them, sort of drawing their attention in. There we go, now my main army's lining up behind. I've got armored Kossars to the front. Missile Kossars with spears behind them. I've got Kostaltyn on his bear. And we are exiting the woods, drawing their attention. Now we are pulling back, luring them into a false sense of security. They think they've got this, but... Ooh, that is getting hit hard by the lead belchers. But we are firing back now. I don't know if I'm quite in the woods enough to hold back the ogres, but it looks like their charge got pretty blunted, and now we've got a lot of firepower heading their way. The ogres are, of course, split. I'm not fighting the entire army, so this is good for me. I've got local superiority. What's going on here? This armored Kossar is getting pushed out, I guess. But yeah, we've got the trees blocking some of their firepower. My own firepower coming out of the trees relatively without any relative problems. More of the ogres are coming in, but we were able to sort of start fighting them piecemeal. Focusing fire on what did we decide to call this guy? Golg, I'm gonna call him. Focusing in on him with my Streltsy. We got the Ice Maiden casting. I think that was Ice Sheet. Ogre Lead Belchers firing in, but not doing anywhere near as much damage as they would thanks to the trees. We've got Kostaltyn going in against the Ogre Leader. He's at half health, also taking a lot of fire from the Streltsy. Again, ogres are large targets, so... Ooh, he is wavering already. What's going on over here? Got my cavalry coming in. One of the ogre units is fleeing. Another ogre unit is fleeing. And they are also dealing with the third ogre bull unit, sending in my cavalry, who have taken some damage against the scrap launcher. And lead belchers are moving. Oh no, we're sending them off into the lead belchers. The main ogre line is wavering. The forest definitely helped me out. They could not attack me with their full force of their full ferocity. And their army looks like it's breaking. Not fully yet, but a lot of their units got the Watchmen in the night pacing after them. Looks like army losses are starting to kick in. And there we have it. The ogre army is shattered. Yep, I think my tactic worked very well. The trees sheltered me from their firepower. I think I was in the forest enough to blunt their attack, because when they charged in, it really didn't do a whole lot, at least compared to like what you would typically see from an ogre charge. And then they split up, so I only had to deal with part of the army at one time. At any one time. Alright, let's see the battle results. Okay, here we are with the post-battle analysis. Kostaltyn's army came out with just under 300 losses. The ogres lost 581, 253 models remaining. And there were a lot of units destroyed on their part, chased down primarily. Yeah, that went a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest. I did take significant casualties on 2 of my Kossar units, one with great weapons and one with shields. The cavalry took a bit of damage too, but overall, that was not bad. Like I was saying, the forest definitely helped me out if you are fighting an army with lots of large targets, large entities. If you can, engage them in the woods due to the combat penalties that they take. The ogre charge into my front line did not do near as much damage as it should have because it was blunted. And in the meantime, I had a fairly defensive position with being in the forest, and I believe it was on a hill as well, so my range units at the back were able to fire over my front line. Their scrap launcher and lead belchers weren't able to do near as much damage as they should have. They have very long range, high damage shots that can devastate infantry, but the trees were my savior and blocked a lot of that fire. In the meantime, my cavalry, they did pick off, I don't think I was able to show it properly, but they were able to pick off an isolated ogre unit and then try and intercept against the lead belchers and scrap launcher. I don't think they really did too much against the scrap launcher, but at the end there they were able to, I don't know if they destroyed the lead belchers or at least just kept them running, which either way worked for me. And in the meantime, I was just able to pump out loads of firepower into the ogres as they were held up against my infantry line. Golg, as I'm calling him, got focused down by my Streltsy, both the regular unit and the Regiment of Renown, plus Kostaltyn tanking him, keeping him occupied as he took all that firepower. Apparently the ogres had Noblars. I don't think I even saw them even in like when I actually played the battle. But apparently there were Noblars there too. Who would have thought? Overall though, that worked out much better than my initial attempt. Hiding in the trees, I think the Wood Elves know what they're doing. Thanks for watching everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this gets you thinking about how to make use of the battlefield itself to help you in your engagement. I do realize that the potential for such tactics can be limited from map to map, and certainly most of them do not have the extensive forest coverage that this one did. But still good to keep your eyes out for any opportunities you can take advantage of. On a smaller scale, you can keep your cavalry hidden out on the flanks so they can come in for rear charges later on in the battle. Or you can keep your vulnerable units protected within a wood line from enemy ranged attacks. Please let me know what else you'd like to see covered, or if you have any tips of your own. If you want to help the channel, please make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and turn on notifications to get this video out there within the warp-touched realm of YouTube. I hope you have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!